There's one word that separates the lucky trader from the lasting trader: patience. It's the rarest quality in the market and the most valuable. Every beginner learns how to buy and sell, but very few ever learn how to wait. The waiting is where the money is made. When I started in the bucket shops, I thought the market paid you for action. I believed the man who traded the most, who jumped in and out all day, was the one who made the most money. I was wrong. The market doesn't pay for activity, it pays for timing, and timing is the direct result of patience. The first thing you must understand about patience is that it's not passive. It's not about sitting around doing nothing. It's about preparation, discipline, and restraint. The best traders aren't those who take every opportunity, they're the ones who wait for their opportunity. There's a difference between being busy and being profitable. I remember when I was young and hungry, chasing every tick on the tape, thinking I could outsmart the market if I just stayed alert enough. Every little movement felt like a signal. I'd jump in, grab a few points, and jump out. Sometimes I won. More often, I didn't. Then one day, I realized something: the big money didn't come from the trading. It came from the waiting. You can learn this truth the easy way or the expensive way. I learned it the expensive way. The market will always test your nerves, your greed, and your fear. It will tempt you to act when you should be still. It will whisper, "Don't miss this move," and most traders will obey. They'll jump in too early, get shaken out, and then watch the real move happen without them. I learned that the market rewards those who can sit tight when everyone else is restless. That's the true test of a trader. Patience isn't just about waiting for an entry, it's also about waiting through a move. You have to learn to wait for the right moment to buy, and then wait even longer to sell. The average trader is quick to enter and even quicker to exit. They chase opportunity but flee discomfort. They want to be right all the time, and that's exactly why they lose. Let me tell you about a campaign that taught me everything I needed to know about waiting. I had been watching a stock for weeks. The chart looked promising, the fundamentals lined up, and the tape hinted that accumulation was taking place. Everything about it looked ready except one thing. The price action hadn't confirmed it yet. The breakout hadn't come. So I waited. Each day, I watched the stock flirt with resistance, testing the same price levels, drawing attention from other traders who couldn't resist jumping in. I saw them buy too early, hoping to catch the move before it happened. Every one of them got shaken out. The market's job is to test impatience, and it does that job perfectly. Then, one morning, the tape changed. The bids were firmer. The offers began to vanish. The stock moved up through resistance with volume real buying, not the weak kind. That was my signal. I stepped in, not because I was impatient, but because I had waited long enough for proof. Within a few days, the move confirmed itself. The stock climbed steadily, never giving back ground. That trade became one of my biggest wins of the year. Not because I found the setup early, but because I had the patience to wait for it to prove itself. The hardest part of trading is doing nothing when there's nothing to do. Your instincts will fight you. The market will make you feel like you're missing out. But if you can learn to master that impulse to stand aside until the conditions align perfectly, you'll begin to trade like a professional. The amateur believes success comes from constant participation. The professional knows it comes from selective participation. You're not in this game to trade often. You're in it to trade well. You see, the perfect setup doesn't appear every day, sometimes not even every week. The best trades take time to develop. They form quietly while the crowd is distracted elsewhere. But when they finally show themselves, they do so unmistakably. That's when the patient trader steps forward, and the rest of the market wonders how he always seems to catch the big moves. Patience protects you from the worst enemy in speculation, your own emotions. The market feeds on impatience. It's designed to transfer money from those who can't wait to those who can. Every false breakout, every shakeout, every trap is built to exploit those who lack discipline. If you can resist those temptations, half your battle is already won. There's a saying that's always stuck with me. You can't force the market to give you money. You can't make it move when you want it to. You can only align yourself when it's ready to move. That means sometimes you'll spend days or even weeks doing nothing, and that's exactly what you should be doing. In those quiet times, your job is to prepare, study your charts, read the tape, observe behavior. The more you watch without acting, the sharper your instincts become. You'll start to recognize the difference between movement and opportunity. The tape will start to speak to you, quietly but clearly. Patience is also about endurance. When you're in a winning position, the market will test your faith, just as it tested your restraint before you entered. Prices will fluctuate, and your mind will whisper that it's time to take profits. But the big money is made by sitting tight, not by taking small gains. You have to learn to wait while your profits mature, just as you waited for the setup to appear. I've seen traders sabotage themselves by taking profits too early. They're afraid of giving back what they've earned. But that fear robs them of the real reward, the long, sustained move that only comes to those who wait. Patience on the entry and patience on the exit, that's the full circle of mastery. Waiting for the perfect setup doesn't mean perfection exists. It means waiting for the right alignment, price, volume, sentiment, and timing all moving in harmony. It means waiting for the market to confirm your opinion instead of trying to predict what it might do. The market doesn't reward opinions. It rewards discipline. One of the biggest mistakes I ever made came from impatience. I remember a time when I jumped into a trade before confirmation because I didn't want to miss the move. The setup was nearly complete, and everything looked right, but nearly isn't enough. The market punished me for my eagerness. The breakout failed, the stock reversed, and I was forced to take a loss that could have been avoided. From that day forward, I made a promise to myself. I would never again trade what I thought the market would do. I would only trade what it proved it was doing. That single rule saved me more money than any system or signal ever could. Most traders don't realize that waiting is itself a trade. It's an active decision to preserve your capital until conditions are favorable. Every trade you avoid out of discipline is as important as the one you take out of conviction. The difference between success and failure often lies not in what you do, but in what you don't do. Patience requires humility. It means admitting that you don't control the market, that you're willing to let it reveal its hand before making your move. It means accepting that your job isn't to predict, it's to respond. That mindset separates the student of the market from the gambler. If you find yourself restless, unable to sit still, constantly looking for trades, that's your signal that you're not in control of yourself yet. True mastery begins when you can sit in front of the screen for hours and not feel compelled to act. You wait until everything lines up and then you act decisively, without hesitation. I used to keep a phrase written on the inside of my notebook. It's better to be out wishing you were in than in wishing you were out. That sentence has saved me countless times. If you miss a move, there will be another. But if you get caught in a bad position because you couldn't wait, it can take months to recover financially and emotionally. The truth is, trading patience isn't natural. It goes against human instinct. We're wired to chase, to react, to want immediate results. But the market rewards those who can control those instincts. The patient trader learns to think in probabilities, not possibilities. He knows that no single trade will make him, but one impatient decision can break him. When I look back at my career, the wins, the losses, the lessons, the biggest turning point wasn't when I found a new method or system. It was when I learned to wait for the market to prove me right before I bet on it, to wait for the move to mature before I took my profits, to wait through the noise and trust the process. Every great operator I ever knew shared this trait. They didn't chase, they didn't force trades, they waited like hunters, watching for their prey to come into range. And when it did, they acted swiftly and without hesitation. But until that moment came, they did absolutely nothing. The market rewards patience and punishes impatience. That's the oldest truth in speculation. You can't control price, but you can control yourself. That's your only real advantage. If you can master waiting, you can master trading, because waiting filters out every emotional weakness, greed, fear, anxiety, ego. When you're patient, you operate from clarity. You stop reacting to every tick and start seeing the bigger picture. So, if you truly want to elevate your trading, stop focusing on constant action, focus on precision. Wait for the setup that fits your rules, that confirms your judgment, that aligns perfectly with your method. Then, and only then, commit. The hardest part of this game isn't finding opportunity, it's having the discipline to wait for it. But once you do, you'll notice something remarkable. The market will start to feel slower, calmer, more predictable. That's not because it changed, it's because you did. You'll begin to see that patience isn't just a skill, it's a weapon. It's what keeps you out of bad trades, what allows you to hold on to good ones, and what separates the speculator from the survivor. In the end, trading isn't about who moves fastest, it's about who moves last and best. The market always rewards the one who waits for the perfect setup. Because patience, above all else, is the true secret to mastery.